Welcome back to Warhammer Fantasy Battle Reports on Shyhammer Fantasy, and today we have Skaven versus Vampire accounts. Now, the player Aaron, who is playing Vampire accounts, is actually using, I believe, like one or two Necromancers that have the Undead Legion spells, and then he also has his General as a Vampire account doing Vampire account spells. So he does a good mix, but it's 2,000 points. Let's go over their army list and see what spells they have. So, Skaven are on the left, Vampire Counts are on the right. On the left, starting closest to the camera, we have a Hell Pit Abomination, a unit of Giant Rats with a Packmaster, and then we have a block of 20 Skaven Slaves. In the corner, we have a Warblock Engineer. Behind him is actually a Forge World model of the Brood Horror with a Warlord on it, but he's actually just using that as a proxy for the Warp Lightning Cannon. Next to that, he has level 4 Gracier. Next to that, he has another Warp Lightning Cannon. He has a big block of Storm Vermin. I believe it's like 25 Storm Vermin. And then he has a unit of Rat Ogres, or Rogers, about 5 or 6 of them. And then he has 2 more units of Slaves, another Warplock Engineer with a Doom Rocket, and then the Doom Wheel. And then on the side with the Vampire accounts, we obviously have a Terrorgeist that you can see from here. We have a big block of Ghouls. He loves that block of Ghouls, of like 50 Ghouls, I believe. It might be like 40. He has a unit of Graveguard with a hero. I'm sorry, he has 2 Necromancers and Vampire Lord in that unit. Then he has a block of Skeletons and a block of Zombies off to the far flank there. So for Vampire accounts, he got Rise, which is the Grave Call. It allows him to summon an infantry unit up to 50 points. He could up the spell by taking a higher number and get 100 points, or he could even take Monstrous Infantry up to 150 points. He also got the Dark Riders, which is a great spell. Allows him to get a single unit of Cavalry, Monstrous Cavalry, or Chariots for 150 points. And then he has also 2 Necromancers that took Invocation and the Heck, and that was it. They were level 1 Necromancers. And then for the Skaven magic, we have Death Frenzy, and I apologize. I said he had a Gracier. He did not have a Gracier. He had 2 Warplock Engineers. The one has Death Frenzy on it, and then the other one got Warp Lightning. Vampire counts turn 1. We have Watchtower as the scenario, and Skaven are actually occupying the Watchtower right now. His first move is obviously to charge the Graveguard right into that Watchtower, and then everybody else kind of moves accordingly. We got a Terrorgeist moving over to the flank, and Ghouls move up, and everybody else kind of just shambles forward. For magic, we got 5 power dice, we got 6 power dice, 5 dispel dice, and then this is a very blurry picture here, but the leader, the general, actually goes and does a Irresistible Force miscast on raising up a new unit of Dark Riders. And sure enough, he takes out a good chunk of his Graveguard before they got into action. And yeah, this picture here shows you that only 2 Skaven died from the miscast. And then this picture here, you're going to see how many less Graveguard there are. And all those dice are actually a wound counter for each hero that's in there that took a wound at a strength 10 hit. And then you can see that unit of Dark Riders right there that he actually got to summon up. Sorry, Blood Knights, not Dark Riders, but we'll call them Dark Riders, whatever. Close combat, the Graveguard go ahead and they destroy the Slaves. Slaves didn't even get a wound. So we're going to go ahead into Skaven turn 1. Skaven turn 1, Doom Wheel moves up, and I believe the Giant Rats move up behind it. The Hell Pit starts heading straight for the Terrorgeist. We want to see this monster versus monster battle. And there's another angle of it. We're just looking forward to seeing these two just collide and see what happens. As for the Watchtower, the Rogers charge in on the Graveguard. They're going to go ahead and hopefully tear through some undead. And then the Storm Vermin move up, and Slaves move up as well. And we're going for Magic. Magic phase, we got 11 power dice, 6 dispel dice. And he goes ahead and uses Death Frenzy on that unit of Rat Ogres. And he didn't know the consequences of doing the Death Frenzy right out the gate. But you know what? That's still good, though, because he's hoping to tear through some of those numbers with that nice, strong unit right there. He throws more dice onto Warp Lightning and it actually fails. And I actually believe he tries to go for a Dreaded 13th and that just really... So this is how the board looks going into close combat. Going into shooting first. Doomwheel goes ahead and fries one rat, and then the other rat apparently had rubber on and didn't get fried at all. Then there was a much heated debate over this, but he shoots the Doom Rocket. And there's nowhere in the Skaven book that says he can move and shoot, or he can move or shoot. So we assume that he can move and shoot. So he goes ahead and he shoots the Doom Rocket at that unit of ghouls, and it flies right over them. And it only clips one guy. That kind of sucked. Warp Lightning Cannon shoots next, and it shoots at the same block of ghouls, and it bounces right through them. But it blows up behind them. So the ones that got hit was about 3 or 4 guys right in that line of the bounce. The second Warp Lightning, we'll call him Warp Lightning Horror, goes ahead and shoots, and he gets a misfire, and yeah, he got removed from play. No more Brood Horror Cannon. That's what he gets for faking it. And down to close combat. Those Rat Ogres with their Death Frenzy go ahead and start attacking the Graveguard, and they do a pretty bad job. The Graveguard actually kill off one of the Rat Ogres right off their turn, and the Rat Ogres kill, looks like 3, maybe 4 Graveguard. And then by the time the hero Vampire Lord gets through, he kills another one, the Rat Ogres. And then we learn that Death Frenzy starts to decay that unit, so he's going to start losing more units very soon. Vampire counts turn 2, and the Rat Ogres actually ran from the center. I just wanted to point that out. He actually moves the Terrorgeist on the other side of the hill, made that Hell Pit Abomination go ahead and chase him around the corner, and then he moves this giant block of zombies straight towards that Doomwheel, hoping to hold him up. Magic phase, we got 5 dice, 3 Dispel dice, and he goes ahead and that Necromancer right there goes for Invocation in the Heck to give himself some more Graveguard. The spell was actually dispelled. Then he has another Necromancer in this unit here, goes for Invocation in the Heck again, but he didn't have enough dice to go for the big bubble, so he goes for the small bubble, and he gets more skeletons down there. Successful cast allows them to heal up their wounds, so the heroes are back to full. And then this Terrorgeist goes ahead and screams at the Skaven slaves. He kills off 4 or 5 of them in the back ranks, and they stay there. They actually pass their panic check or whatever. Skaven turn 2, and we have this unit of slaves go ahead and charge into the skeletons, and then the Storm Vermin actually go ahead and charge into the Watchtower in the flank, but the flanks really don't matter. And then we have the Doomwheel move on up. He's good. He actually failed to get to the skeletons, which he was going for, and the zombies are actually going to go ahead and get side flank in the next turn on the Doomwheel, which kind of sucks. Then this was another debate, was we didn't really set the boundaries for that rock right there. Was it blocking line of sight? Was it impassable or passable? So they rolled for it, and they got a 4, 5, or 6. So the Hell Pit climbs over the mountain, and he's chasing down that Terrorgeist. He's not letting him go that easy. Remaining moves, the giant rats go ahead and move up right by the zombies to hopefully stop them from going into the Doomwheel. Magic phase, we got 6 power dice, 5 dispel, and then we found out that Death Frenzy on every magic phase turn starts to decay the unit. So he had a total of 5 Rat Ogres up front. He lost 2 in combat last time, and then he lost 2 more, and that just kind of killed him up right there. That unit kind of became useless now. And then we're going to go ahead and into shooting. He uses the Warp Lightning Cannon, hoping to clip the back end of that Terrorgeist, and I believe he did hit it, but it was a super low, like a 2 on the second bounce, and it did no damage. Then the Skaven slaves go ahead and they try to attack the Terrorgeist, did absolutely nothing, and the Terrorgeist actually blows up that unit because they panic and blow up. And then the giant rats, I'm sorry, not the giant rats, this is actually the Doomwheel. Doomwheel shoots the closest unit, which is the zombies, and he only fries 1 zombie. The other zombies apparently had rubber too. Everybody has rubber in this game, guys. They survive the Warp Lightning shots from the Doomwheel all the time. Close combat. This unit of slaves attacks the skeletons, and I don't think they killed anybody. I think he actually got armor saves, and the skeletons kill 4 in retaliation. And then those Skaven blew up. He reforms the skeletons, and they are facing the Doom Wheel now. Doom Wheel is kind of getting closed in by 2 big units. Oh, actually, I lied. The Terrorgeist didn't blow this unit up yet. He's about to right now. They go into the close combat, and they do 1 wound. Terrorgeist in retaliation kills off 3 slaves, and then on combat resolution, the slaves end up getting another wound on the Terrorgeist. So, way to go, little slaves. So next up is the Storm Vermin, and I actually forgot he has Queek in there. Queek is gonna go ahead and attack. He kills off 3 Graveguard. The rest of them really pretty much do nothing. We have 1 Warlord with the Fellblade. He goes in and he attacks, and he whiffs. He does a major whiff. Gets 1s on his rolls, which he only needed a 2-up, and he failed. And then they end up killing him. They focus their attacks on him, kill him, as well as 1 more Storm Vermin. Queek survives, and I don't understand how that happened, but it happens. But they stay there for 1 turn, and oh, Queek took 1 damage as well. And we're gonna go ahead to Vampire turn 3. Vampires go ahead and they charge the zombies in onto the giant rats, and that was pretty much. The skeletons also charge into the Doom Wheel, hoping to not get the impact hits from the Doom Wheel. And then Magic Phase got 4 Dispel dice, 5 Power dice. I don't know why I'm stumbling over that so much today. And Terrorgeist goes ahead and screams. He screams and kills a shit ton of those slaves. And then they actually finally blow up. They don't do any damage on the blow up to him. And he goes ahead and he faces his Terrorgeist to face that Hell Pit. He's ready for the action there. Close combat, we have this unit of Skeleton Warriors attacking the Doom Wheel. Doom Wheel, of course, the giant rats go first and they kill off 3 skeletons. And then the zombies go ahead and wipe the giant rats. I don't believe any of the skeletons did any damage to the Doom Wheel because it had such a high armor save and it's good toughness against some low-level skeletons. Here's the fight we've all been waiting for. The Hell Pit finally gets in on the Terrorgeist, closes in on the charge, and then we're going to go straight into shooting phase. Shooting phase, Warp Landing Cannon goes ahead and shoots at that unit of ghouls over there, and it actually bounces right in between where the Terrorgeist is and those front ghouls. So it kills off like 2 ghouls maybe. But more importantly, it did 2 wounds to the Terrorgeist, totally accidentally, but it was perfect. Then we have the Doom Wheel going next, and the Doom Wheel actually misfires, so its shots kind of suck, and or it doesn't do anything. I don't think it did anything, so he ends up killing off a couple units of skeletons on the close combat phase, but the skeletons and the side flank with the zombies, the Doom Wheel actually runs. No damage done to it, but it runs away. It's scared. As for the Graveguard and the Storm Vermin, they're going at it. They kill off 4 Storm Vermin, and then not only that, but they killed off Queek. No Queek. So Skaven's not doing so hot right now. In retaliation, the Storm Vermin killed off, I think, like maybe 1 or 2 Graveguard. Not enough. And then, for some reason, I don't have a picture of the combat with the Terrorgeist and the Hell Pit, but the Hell Pit won, and he did enough damage to kill off the Terrorgeist, which he only had 2 wounds left. Vampire's turn 4, and we're going to start off with the zombies actually charging into the rear of the Storm Vermin, so the Storm Vermin cannot go back into the building and attack, and then the skeletons go ahead and continue chasing the Doom Wheel. Magic Phase was a bust, and then basically he didn't need to move many other people over. He charges the ghouls into the Hell Pit. The Hell Pit then does Avalanche of Flesh, which basically does 2d6 automatic hits, distributed shooting. He kills off 7 ghouls with this attack, and I believe he makes some more crumble on top of that. And they got a couple wounds in. They actually got their licks in on the Hell Pit because they have poison attack. So the zombies go ahead and attack the rear of the Storm Vermin, and they actually panic and they run through the building. And of course the zombies are going to chase, but they're zombies. They don't run. They just kind of like shamble forward, and they don't do anything there. And then we're going to go ahead on to Skaven turn. 4, I believe this is still. The rat ogre goes ahead and charges into the side of the zombies to start holding them down so that he could rally his storm vermin. He needed to rally his doom wheel. He got double ones. Gonna go ahead and turn that guy around. The storm vermin do not rally. They keep running. And then his warp lightning cannon goes ahead and shoots at the blood knights, and he kills off 2 out of the 3 blood knights. Oh, actually, we went into shooting phase. I don't know if he was able to shoot, but he did anyways. He got a strength 8, and he kills off 3 skeletons. And then we're going to go ahead back into the hell pit. The hell pit kills another 4 ghouls. But the ghouls got a ton of poison attacks going through his toughness, and he did not get a revive. He actually just died and stayed dead. So there goes it. That was it for the hell pit. Slave's going to go ahead and charge into the graveguard that had been chilling in the tower. And at this point, my brother, who's the Skaven player, just decided, he's like, you know what? There's no way his slaves are going to go ahead and take the tower in Watchtower. They're getting annihilated by the graveguard, and he calls it quits by then. And it was a fun game. Skavens blew up at the end, and he lost the hell pit. Only thing he really had going for him was a fleeing unit of storm vermin and the doom wheel, and the vampire lord in the middle was still pretty much untouched. So it's a vampire counts victory with the undead legion spells. And if you guys like this video, please subscribe, hit like, and I'll be putting up new videos very soon. I got orcs versus dwarves, as well as orcs versus vampire counts. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Peace.